Hey, everybody. Hi, it's Julianne Lichty-Stratton here. How are you? Welcome to Facebook Live for Acting from All Angles. I'm so excited you're here. We have a really cool little Facebook Live today. So I didn't start it out with any of my crazy actions or anything, just, I don't know, didn't feel like it. But what we're going to talk about is some really cool stuff from my New York trip. So you probably saw me on my Facebook Live there in New York City, which was really awesome. My husband and I went back there for, our whole trip was about 2 weeks, and we were in New York for about 5 days, 4 or 5 days, and it was really fun. We had a grand time. Um, he played handball, and I walked around the city and went to acting classes and saw stuff, and it was really amazing. So, yeah. So, I didn't introduce myself properly. My name is Julianne Lichty-Stratton, and I am the creator of Actors in Action Professional Acting Conservatory, where we are dedicated to helping the actor develop their own fail-proof process. And we love doing that for people. So what I wanted to dive into today was talking about browbeating, which may seem like kind of a negative thing to talk about, but I think it's really important. And the reason I'm bringing it up is I want to talk about it mainly with how it relates to acting teaching, and how I think it's not very conducive for a healthy acting class. So the reason I'm bringing this up is I audited 2 different classes in New York, and both of them were Meisner classes, and they were both really good. But it just brought to mind, in one of them, I felt like the teacher was a little bit browbeaty, and it's a really interesting thing that some teachers do, and I don't think they mean to. I think it's probably the way they were taught. But let me just really describe to you what this behavior is. So, and why I think it's not conducive to acting class. And so if your teacher does that, or if you go to a class where they do this, you might want to find a different class. So basically what they do is they have the students come in, and then they just start saying, they don't teach the student exactly what acting is. They don't say, okay, here, this is what acting is. They start by saying, so what do you think acting is? And then the actor's like, puts the actor on the spot, and the actor's like, well, I think it's this. And like, nope, you're wrong. Okay, what do you think it is? Blah, blah, blah. Nope, you're wrong. What do you think? Oh, well, you're kind of right. Well, blah, blah, blah. And they just sit there and push your buttons a ton to throw you off kilter. Now, maybe, as I said, maybe they don't realize they're doing this, but maybe this is how they were taught. But it puts the actor in a really vulnerable position, and it gets them off kilter enough that they'll kind of learn to jump through hoops, which to me is the biggest problem with this way of teaching. Because you don't, as an actor, want to be looking to your teacher constantly to tell you if you're doing well or poorly. That's not how you should gauge your acting. And that is what happens when teachers teach this way. When they keep like throwing things at, no, do it this way, no, try it that way, instead of just teaching you how to act. So it puts the actor in a very vulnerable spot, and it just doesn't help. So a better way to do something like that is if your acting teacher says, okay guys, so this is what acting is to me. Acting is taking action against an obstacle to get what you want. Okay, does anybody have any thoughts about that? And then you share it more, and the actor's like, oh, I've never thought of it that way. I always thought acting was like having emotion and emoting and playing your feelings. And the acting teacher would say, wow, that's really interesting. It certainly is a part of acting to feel your feelings and to express them, but we don't want to approach it that way. We want to approach it this way instead. So, it was just really easy, interesting, because one of the Meisner classes I went to, the teacher was very much that way. He was very intimidating, very like, okay, everybody, this is how you did it. And he did it with a twinkle in his eye, so you could tell he wasn't malicious or anything like that. That's just the way he did it. And maybe some teachers think that that's good because it does put the actor in a vulnerable spot. But I think there's a different kind of vulnerability that you actually want to approach when you're teaching acting with your students. Yes, you want your students to be vulnerable and open and feel their feelings, but you don't want to force them there. Okay? So again, hopefully you're getting this. So if you go into a class and if the teacher pushes you on edge and makes you jump through hoops, instead of telling you what it is you need to do first and then encouraging you along that way, really specifically, if they're not doing that and they're making you jump through hoops, you might want to consider taking a different class and not working with that teacher, because it's just going to rattle you. And let's go on to, so why it rattles you. It's because your barometer for good acting is based on your teacher, not on the actual acting. So if your teacher isn't there at your audition to hold your hand and tell you, no, say it like this or do it like that, or what are you doing, da 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 da, you're not going to know if you're doing a good job, and it's just going to cause you to be really insecure. So let me tell you how you can gauge your acting really well without anybody else telling you directly, like a teacher or other students, okay? So how you do that is you look at your partner and you see if you are moving them emotionally, all right? So example, you're at an audition. You go in, who is your partner? The reader, isn't it? So the reader is your partner. You go in and you connect with your reader, and you're doing your lines and you're looking up and you're trying to move them. And you notice if they're moved or not. And if they are, then you know you're doing really good acting. If they're not, then you know you need to engage with them a little bit more. And my poodle just came in. Hi, Leroy. I was gonna say hi. So if they're just sort of flat-faced and just like reading the lines, that means you're not doing your job as an actor to really connect to them. So say you're in a scene study, and you're working with your partner in a scene, and you're not sure if you're acting well. Look at them. Look at them. Are they behaving real and truthful in the moment? Are you being able to connect with them and move them emotionally? If not, you're not acting well. You're being actory, you're showing your emotions, you're not in the moment, you're in your head. Okay? So same thing on set. You're on set, you're being filmed, you're connecting with your partner, maybe the camera's on you and your partner's off camera giving you lines, and you're looking at them. Yes, it's just on you. It's just the camera's just focused on you, but you need to make sure you're still connecting with your partner, and it'll make your acting more real and more alive. Okay, so this is really important. Now, one last thing about browbeating is we can often browbeat ourselves. Okay, we can be like picking at ourselves and cutting ourselves down and pick, just like a overly critical acting teacher would do. So it's really helpful for us to learn to sense when we're doing that, when we're browbeating ourselves, when we're picking on ourselves, and to learn how to just stop and let it go. So a really great way to do that is if you feel yourself starting to pick at yourself, you can just say, oh, become conscious of it. Okay, I'm browbeating myself. I'm picking at myself right now. All right, what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to feel my body. I'm going to take a deep breath and I'm going to feel everything go in. The air going through my nose, out my mouth. So we're going to become mindful and conscious. All right? So we're going to do it. I'm going to sneeze in 1 second. Hang on 1 second. All right. So mindfulness, bring yourself back to the moment. Bring yourself back to the moment when you get browbeaty. And when somebody is browbeating you, say you do go to a class, or maybe you're on a set and that's how the director directs. And you're going to have to deal with that, right? And they're browbeating you. What do? Are you going to jump through all their hoops? That's what they want you to do so they can feel more comfortable, so they can manipulate you and push you around. But you don't need to do that. Again, become more conscious. Breathe, feel your body. Deal with them, the most polite way you can and give them the best performance that you can. But don't let them throw you off kilter. So this is about browbeating. I hope this helps. I really want you to take take some time to notice if the people that are supposed to be instructing you and helping you are actually helping you, or if they're making you teeter-totter and feel insecure, because that's actually not going to help you, especially if you're an actor, because we're so vulnerable as actors anyway, and to do that is really, to have that done to you is really, really muddling to the mind. There you go. So that's a little bit about browbeating, and teachers, be aware of that. Let's see what else is going on with Actors in Action. Right now, we've got a lot of stuff going on. We're just going to be starting up again in July 10th. Our classes start. We're going to start with ongoing classes, which is really exciting. And we'll be doing ongoing classes until our Christmas break, our holiday break in December. And then we'll start up again in January. So we're doing that. We have the Advanced Class Showcase coming up in August on the 17th and 18th of August at the Eccles Black Box Theater, and we're gearing up for that. We're super, super excited. And it's looking like maybe Actors in Action will be moving. I am negotiating about a new studio right now, so that will be really, really exciting. It will be an event center, and classes will be held there, plus some other things. So really, really looking forward to that. All right, guys, have a great weekend. Have so much fun. Remember, don't let people browbeat you. And keep going, and we will talk to you next week. Please let me know what you want us to talk about. Just put the comment in the comments, suggestions you have that you want to know about acting from all angles. All right, have a great weekend. We will see you next time on Acting from All Angles.